All right, here we are back again, ready to start our third lesson in the photo restoration unit. And today's the extras. So we're going to be going over 3 different techniques. The red eye removal tool. We're going to be talking about the color replacement tool, which is a fun one. And then finally, we're going to be talking about one of the other of the 3 filters that you will run at the end. We've already gone over the unsharp mask filter, but today we're going to talk about the reduced noise filter. So let's go ahead and get started. In Photoshop, let's go to File, Open. We're going to navigate back to that same folder we've been in, so Art, Computer Graphic Lessons, Photoshop Lessons, and scrolling down to Photo Restoration. And this time I want you to open up the files that say Red Eye End and Red Eye Start, and open those up. Okay, so if we pull those down next to each other. So we are going to review a little bit with how to fix tone and color, and then we're going to remove the red eyes that she has, and then we're going to reduce the noise, and we're actually going to swap out the color of her shorts. But let's go ahead and close the end file, and let's save the start file in our lessons folder, and let's call this, we're just going to call it extras. Okay, so put your first name and then extras and click save. All right, so quick review, let's fix tone and color before we start anything else. So what's the quick and easiest way to fix your tone? Right, image, auto tone. So stop the video and run auto tone now. All right, how do we fix color imbalances? What's the easiest way? Right, image, auto color. So stop the video and run auto color now. All right, now we're ready to fix the red eye. So let's grab our zoom tool and zoom in. The hardest part about red eye removal is remembering where this tool is. And it is in the drawer with the other healing cloning tools. So it's at the very bottom. It's called your red eye tool. You don't have to set a brush size. You can monkey with the pupil size a little bit if it gets crazy on you, because sometimes the red eye tool doesn't always work if the red eye isn't clearly defined. So you can always try changing the size if it doesn't work right, but we're going to leave it set at the default 50%, and then we're going to come over into the eye, and you're going to take the cursor and click on the red part of the eye on both sides, and it should fix it just beautifully. So stop the video and try that now. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the color replacement tool. So let's move down and zoom out just a pinch to her shorts, and I do want you to zoom in so you can kind of see the detail here. So the color replacement tool, it's a pretty nifty little tool. So it's in your brushes folder. It's the third one down, color replacement tool here. Make sure you have the correct one, not the regular brush tool, not the pencil tool. And the way that this tool works is instead of just painting with a solid color, it will paint with your color, but it will blend it with the values of the color that it's replacing. So for instance, in our shorts, see how this is a lighter yellow and this is a darker yellow with some other colors. It's going to make changes to that. It's going to replace the color but keep the values in there. That's really important, because if I painted with a solid color, so I'm going to show you, if I took my brush tool and I just started painting, notice I lose that shadow. But with my color replacement tool, if I use that same color and start brushing across, notice it's going to keep where the highlights and lowlights change. The hardest part about this tool is you do need to take your time and have good craftsmanship, because if I paint outside the lines, it's going to paint outside the lines. So you need to zoom in a lot. You might even need to take the brush size down a little bit, make it smaller. But I want you to find that color replacement tool. If I wanted to change the color, if I didn't want the blue, obviously you just double click, pick whichever color you want. Just be careful picking something really, really bright, because it's going to look obnoxious. All right, so stop the video and try that now. Feel free to zoom ahead, speed through this. You don't have to sit and watch me do all of this. I'm being a little bit sloppy because I want to get moving, guys. I'm using my keyboard shortcuts there. If you saw that brush size get really fast, that's because I just use my bracket keys instead of having to go up and manually change that size. I'm using my scroll option on my button or on my mouse to move around and navigate inside my image. All right, and so we've replaced the color of her shorts. Stop the video if you haven't done that and do that now. All right, the last thing we need to do here is run our finishing filter. There's 3 finishing filters. In the 8-step video, you ran an unsharp mask filter. That's because the image was just a little bit blurry. And you have to evaluate based on your photo, whatever you're retouching. Is it blurry? Does it have noise? Or do I need to soften it? All right. So the noise one is when you have odd lighting. So when the camera takes a picture, and it often happens at dusk or in the early morning hours when the sun is just starting to come through, what will happen is when the light comes in the camera, it will kind of bounce around in the lens and you end up with these little tiny variations of colors and pixel. It's called noise. So in the old days, we used to kind of call it static. So you can see it here where it's not really smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce that noise using a finishing filter. So we're going to go up to Filter, Noise, Reduce Noise. And in the dialog box, I do want you to zoom in a little bit, and I want you to zoom in into some part of the sky so you can kind of see. Because if this is the way it starts, see all, you can see the little pixels. You drag your slider to the right. You don't want to drag it too much because it will smooth it out too much. You're just trying to lose some of those individual boxes, and it kind of evens out the tone, so it pulls out some of those random colors. That's what your noise is, and then click OK. You can run that a couple times, do it slowly, and when you're done with this, that's it. So we covered the red eye tool, color replacement tool, and the reduce noise finishing filter. Good job on today's lesson.